Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more CSGO news. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. We saw some amazing CSGO, and with that being said, some amazing news. As per usual, every story will be timestamped down below if you guys want to bounce from story to story. Not too many stories today, but as always, I'll be back here all week long breaking down any other CSGO news stories that do come up. The first of which that needs to be talked about, actually hinted at by Decay a couple of days ago, now confirmed by a few Brazilian sources out there, presumed to be true. That will be MiBR roster changes, which I don't think many people will be surprised by, but with that being said, will it actually help the team before the major? Yes, major roster lock is now 1 day away, so keep your eyes open. There should be plenty of teams out there making some changes, or at least solidifying the said changes they actually have made so far. And with that being said, a list is coming sometime soon of all of the teams that have made changes so close to the major, but it will be apparently Felps out, and along with him it will be one of the twins, that being Lucas, replacing him on the roster. It will be the first time in history of their competitive career that Henny and Lucas, the twins, will play apart from each other, and it'll be the second time Felps will be off of this core roster and kind of the scapegoat of the team. But if you look at stats wise, he would almost seemingly always be the scapegoat of the roster so far. The real question is though, with the need of a team player, is this going to be an actual improvement for this roster? I think stats wise, maybe firepower wise, it could be an improvement, but with that being said, we need to wait to see how it plays out. I think more of a factor has been definitely the fall off of Fur and Fallen so far over the past year and a half, 2 years, ever since that old era of SK and so on and so forth. I think they've had the biggest impact in terms of drop off, not leading to success in terms of results. We've seen them at 2 separate Blast Pro events come away with 0 map wins. Now, of course, most recently back-to-back non-playoff results, which is pretty astonishing for their organization history. What was it, 12th place at SLI, so on and so forth. The results ever since Felps joined, and even back before he joined, have not been near as consistent and near as dominant as they were back in 2017. So to say these are actually a big surprise would be a lie. The biggest surprise, though, is the player they went ahead and chose. Will it work out? We'll have to wait and see, guys, but MiBR seemingly are making roster changes yet again, and it's one of the closest changes to the major that we have seen of all the top teams out there. And of course, the biggest news out there this past weekend was ESL Pro League Finals. It was amazing, to say the least. I did not expect a lot of the things that happened throughout the event, and that's really all you can ask for. Some huge surprises. 3, 2, 1. Liquid did take the event, although I know that's in the title, but other surprises to me were even bigger than that. The G2 run I did not see coming whatsoever. If I had predicted the event at all, I would not have guessed G2 to probably even make playoffs. If I'm being honest with you guys, their run was tremendous. Kenny S looked an amazing form. The finals had maybe, obviously one very poor map, but with that being said, he popped off. It was not quite enough to take over Liquid, but they made that grand final series a lot better than I thought it was going to be, if I am being honest. And the run to get there, well, it was quite heroic, I should say. They take down a Heroic who actually took down a Fnatic early on in the lower bracket, so not going to take that for granted. Heroic is a team I think deserved to be at the European minor, and surprisingly enough did not make it there, so not an easy team to fend off as well. They continue on to playoffs. On top of that, they take down a FaZe. They sweep FaZe. They take down NRG as well in the semifinals, and NRG they lost to earlier on in a same best of 3 where NRG, their 2 wins were in overtime. So they played North America's number 2 team very close twice. They beat them the second time when it did matter. They go on to face Liquid, of course, in the finals. Unfortunately enough, though, they fell short there, 3-1. But again, 2 of Liquid's victories, 1 in single overtime, 1 in double overtime. If you guys watch the series, you need to go back and watch it. And again, I know I'm spoiling it for all of you guys, but a grand finals ending on Inferno in double overtime, the fashion it did, it just kind of goes to show you it's a great final map, although I did get sick of it last major. And with that being said, G2 in their run have solidified themselves as a contender once again. Can they keep this up, though, for another back-to-back consecutive event is the giant question. Now, Liquid's run, of course, they take down Astralis in the quarterfinals. It was a very weird event to see those two facing off in the quarterfinals for elimination. I did not like it, but it was still a very cool series to watch, because if you did see it, Liquid, first map, first half, looked utterly terrible. I believe a 12-3 half or something of that sort. They come back, they make it at least a contention of a map 1. They still drop it, and they take the next 2 maps, though, looking utterly dominant. Liquid then take Astralis down yet again in a best of 3 in the quarterfinals. I never thought I would say that. They take down a young Mouse Sports who is still making playoffs, so I will not, of course, put that off in any way. And they take down G2. They take another title, and they have certainly certified themselves as the number 1 team in the world. G2, though, to me, is still the biggest surprise of the event, but all of the teams out there, a much well competition, I would say, but still some big surprises at every single event to see all the teams that are not placing in playoffs. Astralis, back-to-back events. Of course, they did make make playoffs, but back-to-back events outside the top 4. The first time in the organization or this roster's history. MiBR, back-to-back events now outside of playoffs. Fnatic as well on top of that. So the list was crazy. I'm out of breath. And then on top of that, NRG played the event with Daps and not Stannis, and they played very well, I would say. A lot of us can agree on that. Now number 2 in North America. I think a lot of us would also agree on that. So very confusing to see where they're going to be at once Stanislaw joins in. And now, of course, the constant debate is, should they have even dropped Daps? I think they're going to be firm with the decision as well. But with that being said, Daps has now proven himself yet again, I think, as a very reasonable character for any top North American team out there. And I think this past weekend, if not had already nailed it down, he certainly did have it nailed it down in terms of having a spot somewhere on a roster in the near future. But then very lastly, for all of you guys, speaking of Brazilians, I guess we spoke about MiBR a little bit throughout the episode. That's going to be KEYD stars. Yeah, remember these stickers? They are potentially coming back to CSGO with those stickers. But with that being said, a brand new roster as well. Will they ever get back to stickers though? That's a giant mystery. With the roster they do have, ZQK, Showtime, the names you probably would most recognize on the roster. They were formerly in Flames. They are now acquired by KEYD stars. And with that being said, there are so many Brazilian talents that currently are in the minor system. Of course, Furia will be out of that minor system likely sometime very soon, but you still have the Daytonas, the Team 1s, the LGs, the Inces, and now, of course, this roster for KEYD stars. There are so many up-and-coming South American-based or North American-based Brazilian teams out there. When it comes time to actually getting a minor spot and competing to get back to stickers for a team like KEYD stars, it will be so utterly competitive. So I think it's going to happen. It'll be a far-fetched shot, but KEYD stars are back. And with that being said, I'm a big sticker guy, so those are certainly a possibility. Now, very lastly, in CSGO news for all of you guys, little sleight of hand Stunna. It was actually kind of cool though. One of you guys tweeted at me to retweet this tweet to get 1,000 retweets for Stunna to chug an energy drink live on stream as well for the Pro League Finals. We broke that goal. I actually did not even see it happen. I thought we were going to be short. We broke 1,000 retweets. Excuse me. And Stunna, sneaky devil.
Let's get it going here. First and foremost, not used to drinking these. I prefer water myself, but oh, there it is. Oh shit. Hold on, I got a thing right here.
Let's get it. Yeah, chugging. He's doing it. He is doing it.
Oh, damn. Ooh, excuse me. There's a cough button for those things. Yeah.
But as always, hope you guys all enjoy. I'll see you back here tomorrow, CSGO fans. Or if you guys are esports fans, well, there's tons of crazy news. I'm going to cover it today. All right. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon.
In fact, while we do have this little bit of a second, I want to grab this black monster right here. That's right. I don't know why we call it that. I'm going to have you hear that cracking open a cold one. Duncan, you got a problem with this?
Do you like the taste of that black monster?
Let's just go to the game. This is getting out of control.